Hello and welcome to the Cat Collective. I'm Nina, I'm the channel for this channel, and let's start. Oh, fierce. Okay, nice. Home. Communion. And trust, okay. Oh, dream, yeah. Nice energies. Really nice. Oh, okay. Telepathy, okay. Oh, wow. Oh. It's such a home energy. It's really home. Just look at all this. There's so much home and enjoyment and lovely energy somehow in this reading. So yeah, let's just have a look at those two first. I want to have this whole spread visible, but I don't know. Oh, awesome. No reflection. Oh, would be nice. Okay. Yeah. Yeah, very nice. So it really feels like you are on your way to discover or just to become your own home, in the sense of you know what's right for you at this moment, and you are not you're holding a fierce stand of this is what's for me right now. This is what is the best for me, and you are embracing it, right? So no other voice can creep in and tell you otherwise. It really feels like this, and you're embracing it a lot. So that's very nice. I think it's also because you are discovering something, you know. This reminds me a bit of measuring things. There, of course, right? But it's also this discovery of things, and you know that you don't have to go far away to discover things, and therefore you are embracing what you have, right? And this is it's beautiful in a way, even though I feel like you might be alone at times, right? It could be that all you're really missing at your home base is you know, some company, right? But even this, there you have trust that there's something going on for you. But nonetheless, I also, you know, if it's not if it's not that you're missing something, it's just that you are aware of trusting that you are where you are meant to be, and that this is a right place to be at. It could also be that you are in a partnership somehow, and then that you are very content in and in a trusting partnership. It just seems to me that there are the right circumstances around you right now where you feel just comfortable. You know, it's this protective. They are in the nighttime also feels like. You know, have you ever slept underneath the naked sky? Not many people have these days, but if you can, I would definitely recommend it, because it's so beautiful to see that the sky forms a blanket, and it's just it makes you see the whole place we are residing in a different light, just because it's well, it's bigger than we think, but it's also, we are smaller than we think, but we are also bigger than we think. It's a whole, yeah, it's an experience, right? Because the night sky and everything, you know, this forms like a roof with this house, right? It's the same, right? But what's going on here? Yeah, it's very psychic energies suddenly. And I think that's the reason why you are at home and fiercely staying where you are, right? Because I think you don't want to have some distractions to your developments, and therefore you are putting everything, this can also be manifesting. You want to summon the energies so you can really be at peace, and at peace with your solitude. It really feels like a solitude, but it could also be that you're in this type of partnership where you are, where it's okay for you, right? But just because the cards are on the table, if not, then this will come in for you just because you trust. So, but also, I mean, if you look at those cards, so this is the third eye, basically, right? But it's also well, the spiral can be a little bit tricky because you know, it can be tricky because it's also about your own perceptions of things, right? It's this, what you're embracing, what you are happy with. You know, you can be in the same situation and think differently about the same things. And I think for you it's just, it's a spiral within, right? But it also goes without, you know, without. It goes with, that's a message. So I notice, I just tell you, okay? In my readings, I sometimes, you know, I mostly watch them all after I've recorded them, just to see what I actually said, because I sometimes just don't know anymore after the recording is done. And I really very often notice that I don't speak proper English at times, and sometimes I mistake words and everything. But I think there's in those accidents, those are kind of intentional. So this without, it's like, it's the same, okay? It's meant also to that it goes also outside the line, right? And there's something going on, I think, that is for you. Well, it's a part of your spiritual development, and it really feels like well, it first can start when you think about a house as artificial construct, right? It's like or the phone, right? That's artificial. And it can start there, you know, that you see more and everything, but when it's bigger than that, right? And when it becomes natural, the trees, right? When the house transforms into the trees, it's also a bit where you might think, well, you go backwards if you if you think about a house maybe made of wood, and going back to the original state would be backwards, but no, actually not, because if you think about a house has to be maintained artificially also. Right, a wooden house needs proper care, otherwise it will just be consumed by nature, right? And a tree also kind of needs care, right? Of course, but this is something that works naturally. It's just a natural development for a tree to receive nutrients and sunlight. It's just the way the tree was built, right? So I think you're going your standpoint is fiercely to go to a more trusting side and trust in that you will be met where you the communion, you will be met in a friendly manner. You know, if you expect this, then of course it will come in. But the interesting thing for me is there's so much telepathy on the table, right? And it's a whole community forming around you, which has a bigger side, or like a bigger, or has the side maybe. It could be that also people maybe are noticing what kind of sorry, telephone pole you actually are. Because the more we are getting into telepathy, we also have got the tendency to speak a little bit like some people, right? It's very, and you know, maybe you don't even know in the beginning, but just others could notice this as well, you know. So it's so clearly you're going towards a very your telepathy. It really wants to speak about your telepathy. So it's fierce. It's like you're becoming something. I don't even know what. I cannot even tell you what is going on. I don't know, because you know there are two creatures on the table, right? Well, in this card section, right? And I think you're transforming into your more natural state. So you're basically going from human, perceived human, to cat. Well, no, not really cat, but you know, like something. You know, it's not that you're transforming into a telephone pole with all the wires. Not like that. No, it's more than that. Like you are becoming a community of, like, it's almost like they're meeting within you. It's so weird. Why am I laughing? Because it's kind of, you know, it's a bit weird, but on the other hand, it's kind of, well, it's inviting if you are becoming the home of people, right? And everybody loves you up. And if you think about a house as a consciousness, right? And everybody is meeting up inside your head, or is somehow, you know, with this telephone pole, there it is, right? There are the telephone, or the wires, you know? And they are all going through your head. And it's not that you are probably, I don't think that you are consciously deciding this. It's just you want to develop psychically, and if you don't know yet where your strengths are, and you're just open to this and invite the universe basically to give you your gifts, but a gift is something you don't know what it entails, right? And when it suddenly is that you are suddenly speaking like other people, you know, it's not like, it's like, okay, well then that's probably what was meant to happen. It's a trust. Just trust that, you know, with this, and then suddenly all of this transforms, so that it doesn't have to do anything with relationships in this earthly base at all. It's much more, you know, it's telepathy. This word exists, you know, for a reason, because it exists. It's there. So, yeah, and I think you might be, I think you know that. You are well aware of that. And if not, then you are now that, if you notice this, of other people maybe not noticing it also in you. Yeah, and it kind of gives you a powerful power stand somehow, because I guess it's nice, right? It's nice to have, and the good thing is about this, that you are well aware that, of course, when you are telepathic, that you also are I think you are so trusting that you also are trusting that you are protected, and you are actually. So if you are worried about this, that you are, you know, when you are becoming so, so open to energies, that there are only loving energies entering your consciousness, right? So that's also trust from spirit somehow that wants to show this to you. But it's like, and suddenly this feather transforms into an antenna. Look at that, beep, 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 beep. But it's your natural self, and it's only good. But what I just wonder, I'm wondering, what is it good for? Like, you know, it's a phase of your spiritual development, which is nice, right? But you want to make use of it in a good way, right? It's like, yeah, nice to have, but what should I do with it? Right? I think it's just the beginning phase of a development that goes much further, right? So I think at this point, you just need to trust that what is coming for you is much more and goes deeper with the spiral, right? And there are a lot of consciousnesses with all those which are combined in your house, and I think you're making a melody out of this also. Because there's this music, here's the flower with music. I mean, there's something like a composition, like a orchestra. So, and with the numbers, I'm noticing, you know, I think you are a very important part in some sort of a bigger orchestration, whether it entails music or not. It just feels like there are a lot of this is a soul family that is being united in your consciousness, and it's also showing outside of this, and you can just trust that it's good. And I think you do, because I'm very, I'm feeling it's a very homey energy. Like, it's really very relaxed home energy, full of trust, right? And and this cat suddenly started to purr when I looked at it. That's so nice, right? Meow. Yeah. So we are transforming into something. Something otherworldly, right? And maybe at this point you don't know yet what you can do with it completely, right? It's a bit like walking through the forest at night, which can be scary, but for you I think it's not, because you do have trust, and you also know that you're not alone somehow, even if you are physically alone currently. It really feels like that you are not alone. And especially also that you are being mirrored by the universe. Yeah, there are two times trust is written on this card. This is important, right? And even if you don't know at times where you are going, right? You know that you are being guided, and by being so so trusting, you know that you will end up somewhere where it's very nice, right? And it all comes together somehow, right? I don't know why I was drawn in the beginning to talk about a partner. Because it felt to me that I had to mention someone else, even though I didn't feel that someone else was there. physically, right? So it didn't feel like that, but I felt like I had to mention it. It could be that your partner is also one of those consciousnesses, one of those hearts inside your consciousness that wants to, you know, the bird. So if you are currently alone, you will be with someone who connects with you telepathically too. So it will be a more spiritual partnership than what you have had before, just because you are also more awake, right? So just have that in mind. It just wants to talk about this. So or maybe there's someone who wants to connect with you on the other side and you haven't picked it up just yet with this shadow, you know, because they're the silhouettes, you don't know. You know, and also that the figures are not showing, you know, it's not that they're looking, you know, they're standing there and looking outwards to an adventure, you know, to have an adventure, and those are also not visible, so you don't see the figures. You don't know how they look like. You just see silhouettes, you know that something's there, right? But you don't know for sure who's there, right? But it seems to me that the next leg of the journey is not supposed to be, like, you are not supposed to be alone with this, somehow. So they're holding hands. So if you are worried about this a little bit, you can be trusting that something's coming in that will be, that you are going to have an adventure in the forest at night with someone, together with someone. It's nice, it's lovely. Whenever I see this card, you know, this is my personal one, it's my Mr. Cat card, right? Because this reminds me of Mr. Cat, right? Mr. Cat is for me an abstract partner, like my Mr. Cat. Mr. Cat is like the one, right? So this really feels like this, right? It feels like big like this, but also small and cuddly like this. It's like home, right? Yeah. And so much love with this card. And whenever I see this card, I'm reminded of that, right? Because but it's Mr. Cat, right? So it's not like it's, in this case, at least, it's not an animal, but it's, it wants to see, this reading has so many phases. You know, there's this one phase where I think that you are embracing your fierce independent state to return to your most natural self, right? And because she's standing in the nature. But look at the flowers, how big they are. That's noticeable, right? So it's this Alice in Wonderland type of situation that you are currently in, and you, of course, you need to embrace this. If you are in doubt of if you should embrace this, do it, like, definitely, right? And it's very psychedelic, right? At times, and this. When I say psychedelic, this just means that it's a bit. Psychedelic is sometimes very fluid, but it also sometimes it transforms, right? It's when things merge, you know. It's this like music notes; they also flow into each other, right? It's not. It's a symphony. inside your head. Well, yeah, but it leads to something really, 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 really big, and it really leads to you. It leads to you. I think in comparison to the spread shape that I did before, this spread shape always gives the opportunity for the energy to flow, you know, from going from this to this, you know, from back for this way or just around, you know. It's a bit the energy in the other ones, in the other spread that I used to make was a bit different, and I really noticed it again, that there's this path for you ahead, that there's a lot of back and forth, but also a lot of spiraling. Yeah, a lot of spiraling, but also breaking out of things somehow. Because when I met this cup fell down a bit, and it's like, it feels to me that you are developing into someone really psychic, and it is just a beginning phase where you just realize a little bit more every time, but it develops into a phase where you are being transformed completely. You know, if you see this, this it's really interesting. You know, this is for me the card of telepathy, and this figure is holding the arms up to perform telepathy, right? But then, if you have been transformed, you have got whiskers, right? And they are like antennas that you have for telepathy, right? You don't need to hold your arms up. It's like you have got those ears, right? And it's like the energy's, again, it's transforming. So you're in the middle of a big transformation phase, and what you will end up with will be someone completely different, even though it's you. It's what I was describing with this house, that you have been artificially created. You know, we are incarnated, right? And then people start to construct us. You know, we are those trees. And we get constructed, you know, it's just this way. If this is the incarnation, right? We are the trees. We come from a different land, right? And then people are using us. You know, they are cutting off our connection to the land, right? Or just to the source. They're cutting off the connection to the source. This really feels like a birth process, right? Where you before you incarnate on Earth, you know much more, right? Maybe you even consciously decide, yep, I'm going to go there, but I'm not going to forget who I am. But as soon as you enter this place, boom, there you are, and then you know, the trees get cut, and this artificial construct is being formed out of you. It's the indoctrination. It's when you learn how to behave, when you learn how to act. You know, it's if a human would be raised by cats, we would behave like cats. Behave. That's interesting. No, well, there's no accident, right? And that's the thing, you know, it's this indoctrination thing. And you are going through this deconstructing phase where you are getting back to the connection to source, means also the connection to like-minded people. And I really feel that you are a big part of, if you are a telephone pole, you know, you are opening up other people's third eyes because they notice, you know, themselves the best. I assume, you know, when you have, when you show, when you reflect to them that things, right? Yeah. Yeah, but you are transforming and you're becoming something. And again, this also looks like what people do to you, you know? Many people, it takes a lot of people to form you into something they want you to be, right? Yeah. And then you deconstruct all of this and you become what you were supposed to be and not what they want you to be, right? And it takes just a lot of trust for you to say, okay, then Source, take me, and Source, form me now, right? I lived the artificial construct, right? Now just Source, form me. Yeah. Okay. Thanks for ignoring the flu for the duration of this reading. Let's wrap it all up. What do you need to release? Duh. Yeah, of course, you yourself, you need to just trust and need to release the construct, right? Yeah. And, again, bring love into the situation. Yeah, of course, right? Yes. You know, it's a reflection, so spread love, get love back, it's all nice, right? Yes. So yeah, again, in your house, there's a lot of love, okay? And there's even more love to come in. You don't know how huge this will be, and maybe you don't want to know even, right? It's just to have the trust and the open arms of knowing that something very nice is ahead for you. That's enough. Right? That's more than enough. You don't need to know more, right? For now, at least. I mean, you're watching tarot, so of course you want to know a little bit more, right? So let's see who this reading is for. You. Oh, I see. Well, doesn't surprise me that you're transforming into a cat. Okay, additional info is in the litter box below, and see you next time. Bye-bye.